5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The top 5.
It is 5 o'clock. It's time for the weekly Top 5, now broadcasting on video podcast as well as live from the studio. This is Andrew. What is number 5 for this week's Top 5?
Number 5 is 24 in 24.
We've been watching the television show 24, and if you look at it with a
with a critical future eye,
objective eye,
I think you'll find that it's going to be really good in 24 years.
In 24 years, the television show is going to be considered a comedy because of the overacting and the ridiculousness of the plot. Seriously, guys, 24...
The dramatic scenes pack the emotional punch of a shootout, but with feelings instead of bullets.
Number 5 is 24, the television show in 24 years.
Number 4 is Mr. Barkey's Vegetarian Dog Biscuits.
And for your listeners at home with a Google device, just Google that. It's Mr. Barkey's Vegetarian
Dog Biscuits.
And make sure you have your image selector on so that you can see what we're talking about. Number 4.
Number 3, watercolors.
Yes, we've been getting into our heads, our circles, our special place.
Yeah, we've just been kind of mellowing out with some watercolors recently. You know, life can be stressful, and it's nice to take a moment and just paint.
We kind of debated whether or not to pop this one on you because we really feel like watercolors has legs as far as the long run goes. But just remember, you heard it here first on Andrew's Top 5, watercolors. Number 3 this week of the weekly Top 5. Number 2 comes to us from Uptown, all the way to Merkin Hall, that is. Number 2 is Michael Gordon and Bill Morrison. They're some composers and filmmakers, and we recently saw a piece of theirs, a premiere, that is, Uptown in Lincoln Center, and it was quite wonderful. Number 2 is modern composer Michael Gordon and filmmaker Bill Morrison.
Truly a dynamic duo to keep an eye out for.
And an ear open for.
Indeed. Coming in at number 1.
Number 1 this week with a bullet. A special number 1 for the Super Bowl.
It's the Puppy Bowl. Now, we probably should have put this in last week's Top 5, but you know what? You got the internet. Google it. I'm sure you'll find some footage. You don't need to see this thing live, folks. About a minute or two is all it takes.
Basically, to sum it up, the fine, smart, clever people at Animal Planet Networks, they know they can't compete with the real Super Bowl, so they've produced this thing called the Puppy Bowl. And basically, the Puppy Bowl is 24 hours of dogs, puppies, playing around in a football stadium. Licking each other, playing around, occasionally making a mess.
Fighting, making a mess, and then a ref has to run out and clean it up.
Seriously, it's an amazing event. Next year, during the Super Bowl, don't miss it. It's on Animal Planet. It only happens once a year. It's called the Puppy Bowl. That is number 1 this week for the weekly Top 5.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The top 5.